theories that Leonardo has secret symbols and secret messages in his painting.
The Last Supper was painted here 500 years ago for the refectory of Santa Maria delle Grazie.
For centuries, the Last Supper has been admired as a masterpiece, its beauty, its history, its symbolism. But what if everything we thought we knew about it was wrong? What if this iconic painting holds a terrifying secret hidden in plain sight? And what if cutting-edge AI has just uncovered that secret? The truth might be far darker than we could ever have imagined. The Last Supper, a masterpiece that has captivated the world for over 500 years. Painted by Leonardo da Vinci between 1495 and 1498, it depicts the moment when Jesus Christ reveals to his disciples that one of them will betray him. This scene has become one of the most recognized images in Western art, instantly evoking deep reflection and religious significance. The painting was commissioned by Duke Ludovico Sforza for the refectory of Santa Maria delle Grazie in Milan, and its scale alone is awe-inspiring, nearly 15 feet wide and over 9 feet tall. But what makes the Last Supper more than just a historical artifact is its mystery. For centuries, art critics, historians, and theologians have analyzed every inch of this work, looking for hidden messages, symbolic elements, and deeper meanings embedded within. The figures of the 12 apostles are arranged in groups of 3, each reacting to Jesus' announcement in a distinct way.
The light falls perfectly on Jesus, placing him at the center of the composition, highlighting his importance. His calm and composed demeanor contrasts with the shock, disbelief, and turmoil reflected in the expressions of his disciples. But for all the attention this painting has received, it's the secrets hidden beneath the surface that have sparked the most curiosity. What if the Last Supper isn't just a religious depiction, but something far more complex, a puzzle waiting to be solved? What if, hidden within the layers of paint, there's a message far darker than anyone has ever dared to believe? Stay with us, because what you're about to hear will challenge everything you thought you knew about this iconic masterpiece. Leonardo da Vinci was not only a painter, but also an inventor, scientist, and visionary. His approach to art was radically innovative, which is one of the reasons The Last Supper stands apart from other religious paintings of its time. Rather than using the traditional fresco method, where pigments are applied onto wet plaster, Leonardo chose to work on a dry, prepared wall with a mixture of oil and tempera. This technique allowed him more control, giving him the flexibility to layer paint slowly, refining details and textures as he went along. The choice of materials, however, came with its risks. While the dry technique allowed for subtle tonal transitions and smoother details, it also made the painting more vulnerable. Over time, the delicate paint started to flake and peel, exposing the fragility of Leonardo's ambitious experiment. Very method that gave The Last Supper its lifelike vibrancy also meant it would not endure as long as fresco paintings. But it wasn't just the technique that set Leonardo apart. It was his attention to detail. He meticulously adjusted the poses and gestures of each figure, ensuring that every hand, every glance conveyed a specific emotion. He didn't simply paint figures. He created a scene where the space, light, and figures all interacted with one another to convey the tension in the moment. Now, think about this. What if these changes weren't merely artistic refinements? What if Leonardo was trying to tell us something more, something encoded in these deliberate shifts and detailed compositions? With every stroke of his brush, he wasn't just capturing a religious event. He might have been hiding something meant to be discovered only centuries later. What was Leonardo really trying to say? And more importantly, what did he want to hide?
When you first glance at the Last Supper, it might seem like a simple depiction of a religious event, a meal shared among Jesus and his disciples. But when you look closer, something more deliberate emerges. Leonardo da Vinci was a master of composition, and every element in this painting was intentionally placed to evoke a specific emotional response. The most striking feature is the way the figures are arranged. Jesus is placed at the center of the table, his calm and composed figure illuminated by the light streaming in from the window behind him. This light not only highlights him as the central figure, but also draws attention to the very essence of the scene, the moment when Jesus reveals that one of his disciples will betray him. To the left of Jesus, Bartholomew, James the Lesser, and Andrew appear startled and shocked. To the right, Thomas, James the Greater, and Philip seem to be seeking an explanation, their hands raised in disbelief.
These gestures aren't just accidental. They are carefully arranged to create a rhythm within the composition, almost as though each group represents a smaller scene within the larger narrative. The hand gestures, eye movements, and positioning of the bodies create a flow that guides the viewer's eye across the table, from one apostle to the next, as the tension builds with each passing moment. But the arrangement goes beyond just emotional expression. The positioning of the figures and the interplay of light and shadow might be more than just visual appeal. Could it be that Leonardo was using these elements to create a hidden message, something encoded within the layout itself? What if each figure, each gesture, was part of a larger, deliberate design, a hidden code only visible to those who know how to look for it? Stay tuned, because the more we uncover about this mysterious composition, the more it seems like there's something deeper hidden within.
One of the most enduring controversies surrounding the Last Supper is the theory that the figure seated to the right of Jesus is not John, as tradition holds, but Mary Magdalene. This theory gained widespread attention, especially after the release of Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code, which proposed a sensational narrative involving secret bloodlines and hidden history. In the novel, this figure is identified as Mary Magdalene, suggesting that she was a significant, even central figure in Christian history, one hidden by the Church for centuries. At first glance, it's easy to see why some might think this figure isn't John. The figure next to Jesus has softer features, a more delicate expression, and an almost ethereal quality, traits that seem more feminine than traditionally masculine. The flowing hair, the serene face, and the gentle posture could certainly appear to be feminine, giving fuel to the idea that this might be Mary Magdalene. But let's step back and consider the facts. Historically, John was often portrayed with youthful, delicate features in Renaissance art, an artistic convention for young male figures. Leonardo, who was deeply knowledgeable about anatomy and proportion, would have followed this tradition. John was not depicted as a grown man with a beard, but rather as a youthful disciple with soft, almost androgynous features. Moreover, detailed analysis of the Last Supper doesn't support the Mary Magdalene theory. Experts point to the underdrawing and scientific imaging, revealing that the figure's face and position align with John's traditional portrayal in Leonardo's works. In fact, if you examine other works by Leonardo, such as The Baptism of Christ, you'll see that the same style of youthful, soft features is used for male figures, especially for John. Still, the theory has a powerful grip on the public imagination. The controversy around the identity of this figure highlights how deeply people want to believe in hidden truths, secret codes, and untold histories. But the question remains, is this just a case of wishful thinking, or could there be something more to the story? But here's the twist. What if this theory wasn't entirely wrong? Could there be more to this figure than we initially thought? What if something in the composition of the painting suggests that there's more to the story of this disciple than we've been told? For centuries, the Last Supper was admired for its beauty and mystery, but it wasn't until modern technology began to be used that we started to truly uncover the hidden layers of this masterpiece. The painting, which has been subjected to centuries of damage, restoration, and even the ravages of war, still holds many secrets that were once thought to be lost forever. The most significant restoration began in 1978 and continued into the late 1990s. Led by Pinin Brambilla Barcellon, a team of scientists and conservators used cutting-edge techniques to peel back the layers of time. The goal was simple: to reveal Leonardo's original work as closely as possible while preserving what remained of his masterpiece. Infrared reflectography was one of the key tools used. This method allows scientists to look beneath the surface of the painting, revealing the underdrawing, the initial sketch that Leonardo made before applying the paint. What was uncovered was astonishing. The sketches showed changes that Leonardo made to the composition as he worked, providing evidence of his meticulous thought process. The brush strokes, once hidden under layers of dirt, soot, and overpainting, began to reveal how Leonardo had crafted the scene, adjusting the gestures, refining the faces, and carefully placing each figure. In addition to infrared scans, X-ray imaging was used to look at the paint's density. These X-rays helped detect areas where the paint had been added or altered during later repairs. Some sections, damaged by moisture and environmental factors, had been filled in over the centuries. What was truly remarkable, however, was the discovery that these later repairs often obscured details that were key to understanding Leonardo's original intent. With every layer that was removed, another mystery emerged, suggesting that what we see today might not be the full story. While some may argue that the restoration team removed too much in places, others believe that this technological approach unveiled something far deeper than we could have imagined. But here's the chilling part. Could these restorations have uncovered more than just the lost details of the painting? Could the careful adjustments and changes in the artwork be hiding something that was never meant to be seen? Something too dangerous to reveal? For centuries, the mysteries of the Last Supper have been confined to the realms of speculation, analysis, and restoration. But in recent years, something unprecedented has occurred, a breakthrough that could change everything. Enter artificial intelligence. In 2020, a team of researchers took a radical approach to uncover more about the Last Supper. Using high-resolution photographs, infrared scans, and X-ray images from the painting's extensive restoration, they fed all of this data into a cutting-edge machine learning program. The goal was simple yet ambitious. Could AI spot patterns in the painting that even the most trained eyes had missed? What the AI uncovered was nothing short of revolutionary. The program analyzed the composition with incredible precision, recognizing subtle shifts in the brush strokes, slight variations in the figure's gestures, and even the positioning of light. It also compared these details to hundreds of other works by Leonardo and his circle of apprentices to establish connections that had never been identified before. The AI didn't just uncover hidden details, it identified a coherent visual pattern. This pattern appeared to form a kind of axis within the painting, guiding the viewer's eye along a deliberate route. A line of connection emerged, leading from the figure of Jesus across the apostles and towards the shadows surrounding Judas. It seemed that Leonardo had purposefully structured the composition to direct attention towards certain figures and gestures, creating an almost invisible thread of meaning that tied the scene together. But it didn't stop there. The machine also identified specific shifts in the painting, changes made by Leonardo as he worked on the piece. These shifts weren't just about improving the visual impact. They pointed to a deliberate reworking of the composition, almost as if Leonardo were embedding a hidden message within the layers of the painting. And here's where it gets unsettling. The AI also found markers suggesting deliberate ambiguity, choices that might not have been immediately obvious to the human eye. Could these shifts in form and light be part of a coded message carefully planned by Leonardo to be understood only when the time was right?
What was Leonardo trying to tell us? And why did he choose this cryptic route? The most astonishing discovery made by the AI analysis of the Last Supper is what the researchers now call the hidden axis. This axis isn't a physical line drawn across the painting. It's a visual thread that connects certain elements of the composition in a way that was previously overlooked. And what's truly fascinating is how this axis seems to guide our eyes through the scene, revealing connections between the figures, their gestures, and their placement. The AI identified 3 distinct markers that formed this axis, each one providing a deeper layer of understanding about Leonardo's intentions. The first marker is a shift in the jawline of the figure next to Jesus. Upon closer inspection, infrared scans revealed a curved line near the ear, a subtle detail that wasn't visible to the naked eye. This line in the underdrawing was later adjusted in the final painting, suggesting that Leonardo intentionally modified the position of the figure's head. But what was the purpose of this adjustment? And why was it necessary? The second marker lies in the positioning of a hand near Judas. Originally, the figure had a tightly clenched grip at the edge of the table. However, the final painting shows longer, more elongated fingers, a change that may have been designed to highlight the tension in Judas's character. The AI found this subtle change repeated in several works from Leonardo's studio, indicating that the alteration was intentional, a visual cue designed to emphasize Judas's role in the narrative. The third and most intriguing marker involves a faint draft line behind Jesus, visible only through infrared imaging. This seemingly insignificant detail is in fact a crucial part of the hidden axis. The line curves gently in an arc, framing the space behind Jesus in a way that directs attention to him, reinforcing his centrality in the scene. What makes this marker even more compelling is that the same curved line appears in multiple workshop copies of The Last Supper, suggesting that Leonardo planned this framing element with great care, ensuring that the viewer's gaze would always return to Jesus. Taken together, these three markers form a coherent visual path that ties the figures together, suggesting a deeper narrative structure within the painting. The axis seems to guide the viewer's eye along a deliberate route, from the figure of Jesus to Judas, then through the disciples and back to the center. But why would Leonardo hide such a subtle connection, only to reveal it centuries later? Here's the chilling part. The axis is not just an artistic feature. It may be a coded message. The intentional shifts, the changes in form, and the visual alignment could all point to something far more significant than a simple depiction of a biblical moment. What if Leonardo was trying to communicate something beyond the surface, something hidden within the very structure of the painting itself? This isn't just a painting, it's a puzzle. And the more we uncover, the more it seems like the pieces are leading us somewhere we may not want to go. The AI's revelations have led us to a critical question. What does all of this mean? Is it possible that the shifts in Leonardo's composition and the hidden axis point to something far deeper than mere artistic choices? Could Leonardo have embedded a message within the very fabric of the Last Supper? A message meant to be uncovered only centuries later with the aid of modern technology? As we examine the evidence, one thing becomes clear. Leonardo was not simply trying to depict a historical moment in the life of Christ. He was a man of science and secret knowledge, deeply invested in codes, symbols, and hidden meanings. It's possible that the Last Supper was never intended to be just a religious painting. Instead, it may be a complex web of visual codes, designed to communicate something far more terrifying. Let's break this down. First, consider the deliberate placement of figures and the visual axis that the AI has uncovered. The subtle adjustments in the jawline, the elongated fingers, and the framing behind Jesus all create a path, a journey that the viewer's eye follows across the table. What does this path represent? Could it be guiding us toward a hidden truth, a secret that Leonardo, in his genius, chose to hide in plain sight? If we consider the context in which Leonardo worked, his connections with powerful figures, his fascination with the mysteries of the universe, and his scientific endeavors, it's possible that he was attempting to communicate something beyond the conventional religious story. Some have speculated that the Last Supper contains hidden references to esoteric knowledge, secret societies, or even prophecies about the future. But what about the most chilling theory of all? What if Leonardo was hiding a warning? Could the axis, with its eerie alignment towards Judas and the shadows surrounding him, be a cryptic warning about betrayal, corruption, or the dangers of hidden knowledge? The changes in the composition may not just be artistic choices. They could be part of a larger narrative about the consequences of unveiling secrets, a narrative designed to be understood only when the world was ready to decode it. The painting could be a veiled warning about something far more sinister than we ever realized, a message not just about religious betrayal, but about a deeper, more disturbing truth. The fact that AI, after centuries of analysis, is revealing these hidden structures suggests that Leonardo's painting may have been designed to wait for a time when the world could finally understand its true meaning. But if that's the case, then the question remains, what is that message? What is Leonardo trying to tell us, and why did he hide it in such an intricate, almost untraceable way? Stay with us, because as we peel back the layers of the Last Supper, the deeper we go, the more disturbing the implications become. As we dive deeper into the mysteries uncovered by AI, the implications of the Last Supper become even more profound. Could it be that Leonardo da Vinci was, in fact, a master of not just art, but also of foresight, embedding secrets and hidden messages into his painting, perhaps even predicting events that would unfold centuries after its creation? The AI findings suggest that the Last Supper may not just be a painting of the past, but a message for the future. Let's revisit the axis and the careful adjustments that Leonardo made in the composition. Could this hidden structure guide us to a specific understanding of the world, a message that could have remained sealed
For generations until the right moment? As technology continues to uncover hidden elements in the painting, we might be approaching the point where the true nature of Leonardo's intentions is revealed. But the question arises, what if the message was never meant to be fully understood until now? One possibility is that Leonardo was communicating a warning about the dangers of knowledge itself, an idea that resonates with the themes of the painting. After all, the Last Supper is a moment of revelation, where secrets are exposed and the disciples grappling with the knowledge of betrayal. Could the axis, which leads the viewer's eye directly from Jesus to Judas, be a metaphor for the path of knowledge? An enlightenment that, when misused, leads to destruction. Perhaps this is why the painting is filled with such hidden elements. The secrecy and ambiguity may reflect the danger of unveiling too much too soon. What if Leonardo was urging future generations to be careful with the knowledge they uncover and the ways they choose to interpret it? Another theory that has emerged from these AI findings is the idea that Leonardo's use of hidden codes could have been a deliberate safeguard. What if he embedded these secret elements to protect something or someone? Could this painting, in its coded complexity, be a hidden map, not just of an ancient event, but of a future that's still unfolding? The AI's ability to decode parts of the message may suggest that we are, in fact, living in the moment Leonardo anticipated, a time when technology and discovery finally converge to uncover his hidden truth. As unsettling as these ideas are, the AI's revelations open up new possibilities for understanding the painting. What if we're only scratching the surface of what the Last Supper truly represents? Are we ready to understand the full scope of its message? Or are there even darker truths still waiting to be uncovered? As we stand on the edge of this revelation, one thing becomes abundantly clear. The Last Supper is not just a painting. It's a complex puzzle, a web of symbols, hidden messages, and carefully calculated details that Leonardo da Vinci may have embedded within the artwork to be uncovered only at the right moment in history. The AI analysis, combined with centuries of research and restoration, has opened a new chapter in the story of the Last Supper. But this is only the beginning. What we've discovered so far raises more questions than answers. Could this painting truly be hiding a deeper message, one meant to guide or warn future generations? What else could Leonardo have concealed within the layers of paint, waiting for technology to finally reveal it? We're left with a chilling thought. Perhaps the full truth behind the Last Supper hasn't been revealed yet. What if there's something even darker, something more disturbing still hidden beneath the surface? The AI's findings have given us a glimpse of the unimaginable, but there's one question that remains. What will happen if the next layer of this secret is uncovered? As technology continues to evolve, it's possible that even more revelations await us. Revelations that could reshape our understanding of history, art, and the very essence of the painting itself. What is Leonardo really trying to tell us? And could we be on the verge of discovering something so powerful, so terrifying, that it was never meant to be found? Stay tuned, because the story of the Last Supper is far from over, and the next chapter might be even more shocking than the last.